Man, felt good, just catch up on some sleep, catch up on some TV, and just enjoy my home. Pretty much all I did.
You're about like a season into this new NBA schedule. It's wider. The teams have more off days. Like, can you feel at this point in the year how much more spread the season is?
Yeah, most definitely. They did a great job with that. I think a lot of teams either had a lot of games early and where now they got a nice break in between games later in the season, or you kind of start off with a break and then you kind of hitting them at the end of the season. So I think they did a good job of just giving us more 2-3 day breaks and less travel. So it's been cool.
Do you sense guys are pressure, when you come back after a couple days like that?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, guys.
Good practice.
Guys look good. I mean, coach had a good practice plan for us. We was able to go out there and get better.
How weird is this year with all the teams so closely clumped? You have no idea if you're going to be playing in the playoffs and what it's going to look like.
I mean, it's been like that for the longest in the West. I feel like every team has the opportunity to be a high seed. From the first to the 10th seeded team. I mean, it feels like everybody has a chance to be in the playoffs and make some noise in the playoffs. So it's been like that in the West since I've been in the league. I remember my third year in the league, we won 50 games, but we were an 8 seed, so we were fighting to get home court, and then we lost the game and we dropped down to the 8 seed. So, I mean, I've been seeing that on the West side for a while, and it just makes for good basketball.
Did you know sponsor was showing your Black Panther for some kids?
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to see that movie?
Yeah, I have. That was cool JaVale did that. I think a lot of kids need to see that, and it was an incredible movie with a great message.
What's the value for kids to see black faces on the screen, all black faces, like the representation, and to have those actors be the hero role?
Yeah, I mean, black superheroes is you never see a lot of them, and the ones I seen growing up were you made a joke out of them. So like Blank Man and Meteor Man, those are our black superheroes. But to now to have Marvel, who's one of the biggest companies, biggest comics in the world, and for it to be shown that way, it was pretty cool.
Speaking of the movies, Kobe won an Oscar. Got up there that, I thought we're supposed to shut up and dribble. What do you think of his winning and his acceptance?
He's a great storyteller. He's been through so much as a basketball player, so it was only right for him to kind of tell those stories in his way. And I don't really have to say anything about his speech, because him just being up there in the first place says a lot. So we don't really got to say anything anymore when you got basketball players, winning Oscars. We don't even got to say it. We don't even got to respond to the other stuff no more.
You mentioned last week that this was a trap game.
I said that?
I think you said that.
I don't believe I said that.
Trap game.
I don't remember that.
Do you think it is a trap game?
Nah. I don't even know what that means. Explain that.
A trap game? I don't know, a game that you should win, but maybe you overlook.
No, I just, you can't take any time you get onto the court for granted. So I think we're all going to come out there and play extremely well. Well, extremely hard. I'm sorry. It's hard to play well, but we're going to try to play hard as we can. And if we lose, you got to get the next credit. It's not because we didn't play up to our abilities. It's because they played better than us that night. So I don't believe in those trap games. And if you're not mentally into it, it's not the other team's fault. It feels like you got to be up. You got to be up for every game. So I don't call those trap games. I just call those just not being locked in. And that's how you're supposed to be a championship team, if you're locked in every single night.
Kevin, you guys are shooting slightly fewer threes per game this year than last season. Is that just a function of how other teams are defending you this year?
Yeah, this is the fourth year of the Warriors' new system. And if you think teams are just going to let us shoot threes all game, then it's a lot more pride in this league, and the coaches are smarter. So I think the difference now is that we got all three levels covered. We can score in the paint. You got guys that can knock down the mid-range. That's probably what I pride myself on more so than anything. I kind of say, like Steph, chases threes and runs around some threes. That's how I kind of look at the mid-range. So it kind of gives us a different feel sometimes. So I can go off and hit a few of the mid-range. Sean can go off and hit some of the mid-range. D West, Andre Iguodala, and then we'll hit you with the three-pointers with Steph, Clay, myself. Draymond can knock down threes. Nick Young. So if you got all three levels covered, it makes you unpredictable.
Are the teams just overplaying the three-point line when they defend you, or what's the adjustment they're making?
Just being more physical with us and trying to win us off our cuts. But I think Steph does such a great job of moving without the basketball, man. And it's like, you get tired after just one screen and two screens, and you run around on the baseline, and then boom, you get a three. That gives that kind of breaks the backs of the other team, and then get a stop and come down and get a backdoor layup. So we just try to continue to add on plays and kind of have a snowball effect with our offenses. Hit singles, and by the time end of the third quarter, game's out of reach.
Providing infrastructure for high school, whether it be the G League or in the NBA. If that was system was put in place with infrastructure for the G League, you were coming out. How do you think you would?
I wouldn't have wanted to play in the G League.
But it's based on the players' readiness. Like they could play in the NBA, but the G League was an option as well. You have the option.
I would have tried to go straight to the league. For me, I wanted to play on the biggest stage no matter what. Whether it's college, I wanted to play against the best players in college, and then I'd have made it to the league. So, it was either or for me. I wanted to just play where the best players were. And, I'm sure the G League is a good route, but for me, it probably wouldn't have been the ideal route for me. I probably would have tried to jump straight to the league.
What do you think of that, maybe trying to take it with infrastructure for them?
I think it's good. I think it's good to guys that, just coming out of high school, not quite ready for the NBA yet, but want to make a little bit of cash playing basketball and want to be a professional early. I think that's the best part about it is you're traveling, every day you're thinking about the game of basketball, not school, not study hall, not dorm rooms, none of that stuff. You're thinking about basketball and how to get better, different sets, different schemes. And I think just being professional a little earlier, take away the money, obviously that's cool, but just being a professional basketball player, having responsibility as a professional basketball player, I think that'd be good for some young players. And then you got your players that'll just be ready for the NBA right off top, and then you got guys that need to go to college. So I think, it just depends on what you want. It depends on how you feel. You got to be honest with yourself at the end of the day. If you're not as good as you think you are, when you get to the NBA, you should have probably went to the G League or college. So you got to be real with yourself and assess your real skills. And people around you got to be real with you and not just blow smoke up your ass and be fun.
Kevin, a lot of people want to talk about, like scouts want to talk about wingspans. Do you know your wingspan, and is there an advantage to having a long wingspan?
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm 7'3", 7'4", and it's good. You make up a lot of ground. I'm not as fast laterally. I'm not as athletic. I'm not as quick as guys up and down, but I think I make up for it with my length. So there's a lot of guys. Draymond is the same way. Small, undersized power forward, but can guard plenty of guys because his length, his arms are long, and he can block shots. And you've seen him block guys at the rim, and also get his hands on some basketballs off the dribble. So Rondo is the same guy. There's a lot of guys that are short. Look at Donovan Mitchell. He's a freak when it comes to that. So it's definitely to your advantage if you got long arms.
You guys got 3 days off in between games. This is one season into this more like spread out NBA schedule. Do you feel the more days off within a season and kind of mean a bit more of a relaxed schedule?
You definitely feel it. Like you said, to have 3 days off right now, it's huge. I think it keeps guys, fresh. Which allows for a better product to be out there on the floor, which is great for all of us. So you can definitely feel the difference quite a bit. And I think it's showing up in the play. That's why, not saying that's exactly why so many teams are playing well, but, it's something to stand for if, guys are fresher. It says a lot. And, guys can put more effort out there on the floor, which is better for everybody, better for the fans, better for us as players. It's better for the league as a whole.
You fall in this crunch in the West right now. It's like 3 through 10 is all.
Yeah, I love basketball, man. That's pretty interesting. One day you got a team at third, then like somebody win, they lose, and they're at seventh. That's crazy. So I'm definitely following it. It's just fun to watch and keep up with.
Players talk about wanting to run the table in the regular season. Do you think that's a realistic goal for you guys?
I think it's always realistic. I think that should always be a goal, to win. every time you step on the floor and continue to get better. So, yeah, I think it's a realistic goal.
Happy birthday. How'd you celebrate?
Thanks. I just chilled yesterday with my family. Went to brunch and slept on the couch all day. Great. Then played with the kids. That's about it.
You've been mentioning your family and your kids and that kind of stuff in a lot of answers. It feels like you have a real understanding of what's important and even like a serenity of maybe putting things in boxes, things that matter and things that don't. Is that something you've really grown into?
Definitely. Definitely learning, to, understand what matters most. And just keeping things into perspective. Never getting too high, never getting too low. Trying to stay even keel. But, understanding that, especially in today's day and age, the way you raise up your kids is important to our future. So understanding that and just always trying to have a better relationship with my kids each and every day.
We talked to Clay on his birthday, and he was kind of introspective about how he never thought he'd be where he was at when he was like 10 years old. Do you have a moment like that on your birthday, or did you kind of go down that path at all?
No, I have moments like that, like on just random, normal days. It's kind of where you are in life and, appreciative of that. When you think back and just knowing, like, it's pretty special, of where I've been able to get to in my life up until this point. So I'm a thinker, so those moments kind of come up on me pretty often.
Draymond, you guys are shooting fewer three-pointers this season than last season. Is that a function of how other teams are defending?
I think, teams are obviously, geared to take the three away. That's kind of everybody's goal. In the NBA today is to take the three away. So, could be that.
Is there more of an emphasis on taking the three away now than there was even last season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now than ever.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There was a report the other day that showed that you guys got those 6 U.S. back calls in the final 2 minutes of games. Did you see that, and what's your reaction?
No, I didn't see it.
What's your thoughts on the last 2 minutes of the break?
I don't really have one.
What do you tell a guy like Looney, who I know you guys are cycling setters and a lot of guys get the MPs for stretches, but a guy right now who's sitting on the bench, staying ready?
Just continue to stay ready. It's kind of been that way for him, and no matter when it's happened, like it has lately, or when his number's been called, he's always been ready. And he's very professional. So just to stay that way and know that that opportunity is definitely coming back around, and as he's done any other time, just stay ready for it.
What do you see his role on this team? Like to talk about matchups a lot. What do you think that matchup that Looney is definitely going to knock in?
When you're talking to teams that like to play a lot smaller, it's great for Loon because he can switch out. And guards, keep guards in front of him, run the floor, get to the dunk, or make plays out of the pick and roll. So I think, when teams start to go smaller, that's kind of where the moments where he's used.
Hey, that stuff about the Thompson Family Foundation came out yesterday.
Oh, nice.
What are you guys hoping to
Accomplish?
Yeah.
Well, we're in the grassroots stages, and I just love being around kids. I just want to work with kids, whether it's in Oakland or the Bahamas or Southern California. Hopefully this summer have a golf charity event, a couple kids camps, and go from there. So I'm excited. Thanks for asking, though.
Yeah, is the vision like education, fitness, like work with kids? What is your
Well, education, especially sports and fitness, because that's what I really know. And just having fun, those three. And just, giving resources to succeed, as general as that sounds.
Your family behind you could be a real force. Do you have that moment when you're sitting on your couch and you're like, if I wanted to do this,
Yeah.
threw a little money at it, I could make a huge difference?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Definitely with adults, but especially with the youth, especially me and my brothers, we worked hard to get to this point, and we were very fortunate growing up to have the resources we did. I just want to share our knowledge with, the youth, especially locally, and give them resources like we had to give them a platform to, get better, whether it's in school or on the basketball court, wherever, baseball field, chessboard, it doesn't matter. You just want to give them the opportunity we had.
Do you feel like this roster team, what Katie does and Draymond does and stuff does better, this is a very charitable and maybe even pioneering team in that way?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I learned a lot from Steph being with him for 7 years. I know how active KD is, especially with his charity. And same with Draymond. I mean, we got such a great team. Guys love to give back, and I'll try to follow their footsteps.
To have the time in Augusta go.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. Yeah, no comment.
Your quote after the Wizards game about wanting to run the table in the regular season got a lot of traction on social media. Were you surprised by how much that blew up?
Not really. I mean, if you play every game, you're trying to win. I mean, it doesn't matter if we rest guys or not. With the team, with the talent we have on this roster, we should be able to compete in every game and have a chance to win every game. So I meant that. I'm sure Coach going to rest guys, and like I said, I mean, we try and go 82-0, just really hard. But we try to, like, when I'm in a game, I'm competing, I'm trying to win. So that's what I meant by that.
You play as much as like what you just said. You guys always want to win. You're talented.
Yeah.
The whole jockeying with the standings help provide some extra juice throughout the rest of the season?
Oh, yeah, I don't even think it's help. It's like we want that number one seed, so we're obviously paying attention to what Houston's doing, but we ultimately control our own destiny if we just take care of business.
What do you make of the bottom half of the West where it's a pretty big jumble?
Yeah. Makes for entertaining basketball. I mean, you can see how hard teams play down the stretch. Who really wants it? Who wants to go on vacation? So I'm excited. I mean, there's only like a 3-game difference between the 3rd spot and the 8th spot, and that makes for some entertaining basketball down the stretch. And, you know, as a fan, I'm excited to spectate.
How excited were you to get Rocco colors?
Oh, it's pretty sick. You know, the Rocco, I mean, Anti's doing great, man, between Rocco, Christmas, MLK Day, Black Panther shoe. I like their open-mindedness to do new things. That's why I'm with the brand, and just shows the versatility we have.
How do you guys keep up that level of sustained excellence? Because this would be the 5th year in a row the Warriors have not won 50 games.
Great roster.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. If you have a great roster, you're going to win 50 games in the NBA. We have 4 All-Stars. So if we didn't win 50 games, I'd get fired pretty fast.
The team has talked about a little bit places you just the mental fatigue, the physical fatigue.
Yeah.
The sustained excellence, though, how do you keep doing that?
We have competitive guys. We have really competitive guys who want to win. They established that, 5-6 years ago. I think, what is this, 5 years in a row with 50 wins? Yeah. So, this was already in the makings. But it's a special group of guys, very talented, very competitive, and we're in the midst of a really special run. We know that, and it doesn't last forever. So we're trying to make the most of it.
Why did you decide to go 2 off?
It just felt right, with that long of a break. I just felt like giving them the weekend to recharge, rejuvenate, and come in and have a good long practice today, which we did. With the stretch run coming, just felt like the right thing to do.
How was Steph's ankle today?
He was good. He practiced fully. Yeah. Should be, yeah. Excuse me? Yeah. Oh, I think it's great. I think there's lots of things that I think the league and the NCAA can collaborate on. The fact that the G League is getting stronger and stronger. I think there's only 3 teams that don't have a G League, their own G League team now in the NBA. So the fact that the league's getting stronger and stronger, we should provide that opportunity for the high school kids who maybe don't want to go to college. I also think one of the things the NCAA needs to look at is if a kid signs with an agent and declares for the draft and he doesn't get drafted, welcome him back. Why not? What's the harm? We're gonna talk about all this, amateurism and all this stuff. But if we're truly trying to do the right thing for the kid, and the kid declares for the draft and doesn't get drafted and realizes, I should go to college, welcome him back. Do something good for the kids, and don't just kind of keep this ruse going. It's we all know what's going on, and let's do what's best for the kids and give them some options and work together between the NBA and the NCAA and find the right system. I think it's entirely doable if everybody just opens their eyes.
What did you see from Jordan Bell in his time in the G League?
He did a nice job. Yeah, Jordan was good. He was solid. He needed to play. He's played 3 games for us, but maybe averaged 12 minutes in those 3 games. So he needed the conditioning. I thought he got over the hump last night conditioning-wise. Played 29, 30 minutes, something like that. And he was solid, and it's a good night for him.
He said he was talking to Patrick McCaw about going on to the G League. So what does it say that the young guys see that as a productive place for them to thrive?
The G League is changing. It really is. It used to be a stigma to go down and play. Now it's a tool to get better. Quinn Cook has really gotten dramatically better this year playing in the G League, and he was fantastic last night. And the ability for a guy to go and literally an hour drive away and play at a high level, and Aaron Miles and his staff are doing a great job. They're running the same stuff we run, so it's like there's this great connection. I think it's really been a great relationship.
Coach, 3-point attempts are up around the league, but your team is shooting slightly fewer this season than last season per game. Is that by design, or is that just a function of how teams are defending you this year?
It's a function of personnel and how teams are defending us. We've never been a team that's focused on volume threes. We want good shots, good 2s, good 3s, and the league's changing quite a bit. Some teams have 7, 8 guys, 9 guys who can shoot 3s, but that's not who we are. We have kind of 4 or 5, and so we just play to our strengths. I didn't see any of it. I was in Santa Cruz, so I didn't see the Oscar. Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah. And then I saw a picture of Kobe and Oscar Robertson together on Twitter. I thought that was good. Kobe and Oscar. Well, yeah, we don't pay Jordan to shoot anyway. That's the one thing. We don't ever want to send a guy to the G League and get him out of his element and say, all right, now you got to score. We want him to do the same things in Santa Cruz that he's going to do here. Rebound, block shots, run the floor, pass the ball. And that's exactly what he did last night.
This may seem basic, but after 2 days off and you want your refresh, what are you looking for that tells you, besides maybe high energy practice, are there other things that you see that says, okay, that 2 days off was a real positive?
Not really. You just kind of look at the schedule and try to figure out what they need, and it's part of pacing your team through the season. And we had a good practice, so we should be ready to go tomorrow.
What do you think of how the schedule shakes out down the stretch with not as many back-to-backs? Seems like it's a little bit less back-to-back.
That's good. The league's done a good job all year of keeping the bunches of games out of the schedule, and so plenty of rest. Seems like we just kind of have a game every other day, which is nice, and I think our guys are, for the most part, pretty healthy, and it's a good stretch for us.
Try to get Steph not to Augusta.
No.
You haven't talked to him about that experience?
Yeah. It's Augusta. He's a golfer, so he had a great time. I played it, yeah. It's phenomenal. Yeah. But no, I wasn't too worried about his ankle. I was more interested in him feeling really good, rejuvenating in his body, and playing a couple of days of golf at the world's greatest golf course. Good for all those guys.
What do you think of how tight the Western Conference race is? How tricky does that make that in terms of you have no idea if you're going to end up?
Yeah. It doesn't really change anything for us. We still prepare the same way. It just probably makes it a little trickier as you go down to the final week or two in terms of your preparation. Usually you can kind of zero in on 2 or 3 teams so our scouts can get a head start. That may not be the case this year. It might come down to the last day, and we may not have any clue who we're playing until literally the last night. This happened my first year coaching. It was pretty similar. I want to say like 2 through 7 or 2 through 6 was wide open. The Spurs went from like 2 to 6 on the last night. So it's not unprecedented, but I don't ever remember 3 through 10. Like the range of and the depth of quality teams is what stands out this year. Yeah. Looney will not be inactive every game. It's going to depend on matchups, but I want to get him back out there. He's still an important player for us.
What has Steve told you about sort of your role? I know you've kind of been relegated to the bench here after the All-Star game. Do you expect him to get back in there?
Yeah, I mean, Coach always told much opportunities don't come. Really, he goes off the matchups. So everybody gets a chance to play. I mean, JB coming back, give him a chance to play. JaVale's been playing really great. You got Zaza. You got a lot of big guys at the 5 spot that's really good. So you got to wait your turn. He always comes back to you. He always gives you another chance. So the model of our team has been strength in numbers. So that's something I always just got to stay ready. I know my chance is going to come and just wait for my opportunity.
What have the other big guys told you about sort of this period?
I mean, we all sort of know. This time, my first time being here for a couple of years, so I done watched a lot of guys go through the same stuff. So now it's my turn to wait. And there's points out of the season I was inactive before. There's points when JB was inactive or JaVale. So we all got a taste of it. We all know what to expect. We know when Steve calls their number, you got to be ready to perform.
What is that matchup that you guys are kind of looking for to get you in there? Is it a team that can switch? What is it?
Yeah, I play a lot of guys in the red games when it's going to be a lot of switching, and so I make sure I stay in shape and stay ready for games like that, and just go out there and play solid.
Players talk about trying to run the table regular season the rest of your games. Do you think that's a realistic goal for you?
With this team, I think anything is possible. We have a great team, and when we put our minds in, we lock in. We're really hard to beat. So if places, that's one of our goals. That's something that we've been trying to pick up our intensity and get ready for the playoffs. We want to build better habits and just play with a lot of joy and a lot of energy. And I think everything will work out itself.
Is that something you guys actually talked about?
Yeah, we talked about just picking up our intensity and locking in and just making a statement. It's just getting ready for the playoffs. It's a long season now. It's ready. The playoffs are right around the corner, so you want to lock in and build good habits and get better. Yeah. Yeah.
As one of the young guys in the league, what are your impressions of the G League and what it means for the players?
It's a great opportunity. I know our fans in Santa Cruz is a great atmosphere. We got great coaches down there. So I've been down there my first 2 years and I had a lot of fun. I feel like I got a lot better. Just getting that reps is different. You come in with our team, it's only a few minutes so that we can all play. We got such a deep team. So when you get to go down there, you get to play a lot and you just get to have fun and get a great rhythm. So I talked to JB, said he had a lot of fun down there. So they got a lot of Quinn was down there, DJ was down there, so a lot of familiar faces down there. So I know it was a lot of fun, and the crowd was always great in Santa Cruz.